Welcome in everyone to another casted game of Age of Empires 4 today. On the left side of the map, we're going to be seeing Baxter play as the Golden Horde. And on the right side of the map, we're going to be seeing GIF Music play as the French. And the map today, before I forget, is West Lake. And it doesn't even look like this is water at the moment. I guess it's technically water. It looks like that's just a bunch of stone. I'm going to be real. It looks like that's a bunch of stone right there. A golden tent is going down here for the Golden Horde. And before everything gets going today, I do want to say that this video is because of our comment of the day, which comes from user jhungry16, who says, yo, can you cast a Golden Horde game? And yes, absolutely, we're going to cast a Golden Horde game right now. So the Golden Horde is a civ that I find very, very interesting. I don't feel like I'm very good with it, but it is cool and unique. The units produced at the Golden Horde are produced in batches, but that means they also produce a lot slower. So later on in the civ's tech tree, there are ways to boost production, but at the very beginning, it's going to feel like the civ is producing units a lot slower because of the fact that they're producing multiple units at once. And conversely, French is just producing one single villager at a 15% boosted production rate because of that unique passive there for the French player. What I'm really surprised about for this opener here is that our French player has not gone for the deer. That is pretty surprising to me. Normally, France wants to get out on deer as quickly as possible just to help boost their food production because their royal knights are extremely expensive. And over here at the Golden Tent, we are also probably going to see a Batu Khan. This Khan will boost or buff the friendly units, while there is an arrow upgrade to potentially debuff enemy units. So it can be very strong. It can simultaneously buff your army while debuffing the enemy's army. And that debuff is a upgrade later on in the game. The French player just doing a standard opening over here, working on their age up. We got 9, 10 on food, and 4 on gold. I do think they are just going to go for some Royal Knights as quickly as possible. We got the first Uvu down. That Uvu is going to be required because these units here do require stone to produce out of the Golden Tent. There's also a lot of technologies that cost stone here for the Golden Horde. So what I really want to see out of this matchup today is the Keshiks versus the Royal Knights. I don't know if that is what we're going to see, but I do think it would be really fun to see these civs use their cavalries against each other. Looks like Golden Horde is going for some wood production here. A lot of villagers on wood now, maybe to get some military production down, or maybe a stockyard. So another unique thing about the Golden Horde over here is that instead of farms, they have stockyards, which can potentially a little shuffling there on those tree villagers. The stockyards can produce food very efficiently because they are essentially 4 sheep that villagers have no walk time for. So potentially insanely strong food economy over here on this side with the stockyards. And this is going to help later on because the units produced in batches, they are more expensive. So you need those stockyards to produce batches of units without running out of food. We are getting that School of Cavalry down as the age up for GIF Music as the French. And on this side, we are getting the building carts down for the Golden Horde age up. This is going to give them carts that just turn into buildings magically. So they're going to be able to pick whatever buildings they want. And it also gives you extra carts as you go into Castle and Imperial Age, which is really nice. So you can just put down a monastery as soon as you get into Castle Age very quickly by using that building cart. I do like those building carts a lot. GIF Music is the first one to enter the Feudal Age, and I assume a Royal Knight is already being produced. There it is. Only 4 villagers on gold on this side to make sure they have enough food and gold for that Royal Knight production. Let's see what these building carts are used for. That's a barracks right there. Where's the second building cart going? Is that another barracks? Is that an archery range? What is this? An archery range. We have a barracks and an archery range being placed down. And what's really great about that is they just are built by the building carts. You don't have to send villagers over there to build these. And now you just have 2 military production buildings out as quickly as possible. And there is that Batu Khan right now. I assume what we're going to see with this is this unit is going to run over to the French side of the map and try to harass as much as possible. Probably on this gold line, and as we can see, that icon was right there. That is the path location for that Batu Khan. Did the Khan spot this Royal Knight? It looks like they ran right past each other. They barely missed each other. This Royal Knight also rolling out to harass on this side of the map, but our Golden Horde player is putting up a wall. I think this wall is coming down a little bit too late as the Knight rolls over for that harassment. The Knight is going to spot this Scout. The Scout did send out that sound notification for our Knight over here, so I think our Golden Horde player does know that the Knight is down here and is now moving multiple spears down to try and defend from this Knight. These spears are going to be able to chase out this Knight while multiple villagers run down here to build this fortified outpost to protect this deer production. So because the stockyards are so expensive, the stockyards for this civilization are 250 wood, and since the farms are only 75 wood normally... Oh, the Batu Khan was able to get a villager's side kill on this side, but they were not pathed fully away from this side of the map, so they might die to that Knight. The Batu Khan does go down, but not before getting one villager killed. And so, like I was going to say, the stockyards over here are 250 wood, which is very, very expensive, so the Golden Horde player does need to take map control of these food locations like deer. And also boar, like up here, there's a boar somewhere. There he is. And so because those stockyards are so expensive, it is going to take a while to get a full stockyard economy online. So the Golden Horde absolutely needs to prioritize map resources in the early game. And that is also something the French wants to do, because they don't want to send a bunch of villagers to wood to make farms. They just want to make royal knights. Both players sent their first unit out to do a little harassing, and only Baxter, as the Golden Horde, was able to get one villager kill. Now this Knight over here is working on chasing down this Scout. We can see there was another Knight positioned by this deer line over here to guard those villagers. And still, has Jeff Music not spotted this deer pack in the back? Maybe they're just saving it for later. Actually, yeah, this is more dangerous out here. So maybe go gather this deer first so that they can save this deer for later, because it's going to be a lot safer to gather that in the late game. Batu Khan running back out. The second Batu Khan running out to try and do a little bit of harassment. Are either player going for a fast castle? It does not look like it at all. No players are saving up food or gold at the moment. It looks like they are just mass producing military units here. All of these units, all of these villagers garrisoned there because of that scout. That's really funny. A ton of villagers on deer for our French player, and this would be a perfect spot to attack. And as we can see, our Golden Horde player is getting a significant army together now. And what are they going to do with this army? I assume they're going to go harass with it at some point. The Batu Khan over here denying this gold production at the moment, making sure those villagers go idle on that gold. While the knight production is really ramping up. We're up to 7 knights over here on the French side. Those royal knights are extremely expensive, and we do have an archery range here for the French player as well. Those archers are going to do wonders at executing these spears on this side of the map. And the... oh, I forgot what these are called. The Karash. Yes, the Karash. So these are going to buff the armor by +1/+1 in their aura. And that can be upgraded later in the game with a technology that boosts their armor buff. Knights are now running in over to the golden tent, but these spears, I think, just missed them. They spot them now and are moving in to defend. The knights are going to go for this Uvu, it looks like. And they just start burning it down, but they don't have enough time to burn it down before these spears ultimately get here for the Golden Horde player. The Hardened Spearman upgrade has come in, and now we're seeing this first stockyard, which is incredibly strong because there is no walk time, and these are infinite sheep. Those sheep are literally infinite. It's crazy. Batu Khan getting a little bit of damage here from all of these archers, so trying to go in and harass that villager on the deer, but did not survive. Would not have survived if they kept attacking there. Knights rolling back in to try and damage this Uvu potentially, but they do get spotted by all of these spears. Our Golden Horde player has amassed a ton of spearmen here. This is a very good sized army of spearmen. Blacksmith is now down, and they are getting their ranged armor upgrade. This is going to help them a lot against those French archers and potentially also those French arbaletiers in the later game. These Royal Knights just running around, keeping those spears a little busy at the moment. As we can see, this fortified outpost has gone down as well. What was that? Everybody's screaming over here. The spears are making their way out of the main base now. This is interesting. Wonder if these knights are going to use this opportunity to attack. Oh, and they actually move back to protect the Uvu from the knights. So it looks like what GIF Music is doing here is just constantly using these knights as a way to bait this army. If these knights are constantly in a position to where they can attack either Uvu, then these spears have to stay here to protect it. I think it looks like Baxter wants to leave their base here and go attack the French player, GIF Music, but their army is constantly being pulled back to attack this little raiding party of Royal Knights that are absolutely just annoying Baxter at this point. And, well, what Baxter could do here is they could surround these Royal Knights. If they brought these spears back fast enough, they could potentially catch those Royal Knights, and they just missed that opportunity. And now the Royal Knights are going to try and attack the wood line, but ultimately decide to pass as all of these villagers back here on deer decide to garrison. A few of these spears do get caught out, and the Royal Knights look like they're trying to run back into the wood line now, but there are a few more spears here to defend. Where did that other party of spears go? They all, I know the large party left, but where's everybody else? So it looks like they have decided, the Golden Horde player has decided not to defend fully and is pushing out of their base now with this military. Let's see how this attack goes. It doesn't look like our French player has too large of a military just yet. I think they have been very, very outnumbered. I think they have been pretty outnumbered at this point, and this military could potentially do a lot of damage. Actually, I'm seeing 36 units up here. Where are they for the French player? Must all just be right here in the back. There are actually a ton of archers here. This could deal a ton of damage to these spear and archer combo over here for the Golden Horde player. The Golden Horde is able to burn down this mill on top of the deer. And now the Golden Horde player, Baxter, is putting up a massive wall to protect all these resources on this side. This army is moving back. They didn't push in to attack. Very, very interesting here. Where is this military going? Both of these players are Conqueror 3. I think they're both in the top 100 players in the world. I think GIF Music was ranked number 15 today when I checked on this game. And let's see, the stockyard production is expanding, and they have not been upgraded just yet. Okay, and now we're finally seeing this deer being captured. I do think that they delayed that deer. I feel dumb now, because obviously they delayed this deer here to save this for later so that it was safe to gather. That makes so much sense. Now, our French player is moving their army out. They have left their archers back, it seems. Where are their archers at? The archers have got to be somewhere. Oh, their archers are up front. I missed it. So the archers are leading the charge. Very interesting decision here. I am surprised the knights are not farther up. Maybe the archers are here to start attacking those spears as much as possible before the Royal Knights get here. And the Royal Knights are absolutely going to burn down the Suvu and deny that stone production here for the Golden Horde player, which is going to be very, very detrimental to their upgrades. And our Golden Horde player is going for Relic Uvus. Interesting. This will increase the amount of Uvus they can get. And these Royal Knights are now burning down this Uvu, denying that stone production here for the Golden Horde player. And these archers are perfectly placed outside of the Golden Horde wall. And this section back here is not walled off at all. These knights can just run right through. Oh, and the wall's broken right there as well. Oh no, there's a massive hole in the wall. So this wall did not get completed, and now these Royal Knights are running in to burn down as many buildings as possible. Now all of these stockyards are idle, and that is devastating. As we can see up at the top, only 4 units on food at the moment for the Golden Horde. These stockyards need to be in production. The fact that the stockyards are on this side of the map and the wall was not finished is devastating. This is absolutely devastating here. This is a brutal attack because all the food production is completely and totally idle. Right now, our Golden Horde player cannot produce any units. They're just now moving their units back to the stockyard. And to stay in this game, a wall absolutely needs to go down on this side of the map. And they don't have many cavalry units for those archers. They do have some archers, though, to go and fight these archers. But they are the first to Castle Age. But our French player is not far behind. They are working on a guild hall somewhere. There's that guild hall right now. Not too far behind there. And this fortified outpost is going to fall for the Golden Horde player. And oh my goodness, if the wall was just finished here, they could have brought these archers over here to do a lot of damage and repel them from breaking down those walls. I'm very surprised that that wall did not get finished there. Our Golden Horde player is pushing out into the map to gather some boar as well. I assume they did that when those stockyards got denied. Golden Horde player does have a pretty significant military at this time, and I'm surprised they didn't try to defend a little bit more here. The amount of archers over here for the French player has gotten really, really absurd. And as we can see up top, it looks like our French player does have more upgrades, 2 melee damage upgrades. So those French knights are just going to be dealing a ton of damage. Those knights are going to hurt once they eventually do get into the base. As they break in right now, this Golden Horde player still not using their military to defend quite as much as I would want them to. But the spears finally decide to run in, and we can see that arrow go off to put that aura up over here. The spears actually deal a ton of damage to these knights, obviously, and are putting in a ton of work, and the Golden Horde archers are doing a great job here of defending from the French archers. And I'm just surprised this army didn't come out sooner to help protect those stockyards. A little bit of a mismicro there that allowed the French knights to get in a lot of damage on those Golden Horde archers. But ultimately now, we can see those spears in the front line dealing a ton of damage to those Royal Knights. And it looks like a lot of Royal Knights here are going to be lost if they don't flee. But actually the French archers have done an incredible job at dwindling down those spears. And now I think our Golden Horde player does need to pull back after repelling that French attack. Our Golden Horde player is still producing units at a slower rate, but they are coming out in batches. I'm just a little surprised they didn't go for that defense a little bit sooner. The stockyards are back in production, though. We have great food production on this side. They have also gotten their first upgrade, increasing that food by 10%. It looks like we are going to finish this wall on this side to prevent attacks like that from happening again. But not before the French military runs in to try and take out these villagers building this wall. The Golden Horde player does spot this and is moving their military over to defend this wall placement. Batu Khan running in with their aura effect and chasing this French military out of the area. Those Royal Knights running directly back into the spears, while the archers, and now it looks like Arbiters have joined the party for the French army. Yeah, we have a couple Arbiters there in the French military, and those are going to do just a ton of damage against those spears on the Golden Horde side. Now both players are licking their wounds, going back to their bases with their armies. I do think that was just an overwhelming success for our French player over here. One single archer just doing a little harassing on this shaman. And now that both players are in Castle Age, let's look at some relics. Both players just have one relic in the hands of a monk somewhere on the map. Looks like this knight is guarding this relic, and then another knight is guarding this relic. So if any Golden Horde units go to pick up those relics, there will be a huge alert there for our French player. The Golden Horde military moving out of their base to go and potentially defend one of these relics, I'm assuming. I'm betting that they are also thinking that yes, as we can see, the Golden Horde Shaman is making their way over to this relic, but spots the Royal Knight first. And so this entire military is running over here to take out this knight so that this Shaman can pick up this relic. And now we can see that our French player does have one relic back at base, and it looks like the Golden Horde player did lose a relic that they had picked up somewhere. Wonder where that went. French player has grabbed this relic up here at the top as well. While these militaries are fighting over this gold vein, the French military deciding to mostly retreat. Those ranged units getting a ton of damage in on those spearmen, just absolutely decimating that group of spearmen there. But we do have some spearmen reinforcements over here to the left. It looks like a shaman is now capturing this sacred site in the center of the map. While both players are pretty even in resources gathered, it looks like our Golden Horde player is actually about 1,000 resources ahead at the moment. A ton of villagers on gold now over here for the Golden Horde player, while they also capture the sacred site up at the top. Our French player is getting all of their economic upgrades. We're getting fertilization, lumber reservation, and survival techniques all at once over here, upgrading that economy, so they're going to have a very robust economy after those upgrades will roll in. We haven't got any, oh no upgrades for our mining camps on this side. That's unfortunate. No specialized pick on this side. And they've already gotten 2 upgrades, so our French player is just going to be mining gold way faster than Golden Horde player at this point. They're just going to be mining gold so much faster. I do want to stress again, both of these players are in the top 100 on the scoreboard. I promise you I checked. Some days, we just have bad days. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you have a bad day, you don't play your best. Maybe that's what's happening today. But our Golden Horde player has just overwhelmingly outnumbered our French player. They do have a much larger army at this point, but we will have to see how they compete. It might be that these Arbitelaires are so good at taking out those infantry units on this side, especially the spears, might be a huge problem for our Golden Horde player. But the French player over here on this side of the map has just gotten way more villagers. Oh my goodness, they went for a second TC and I completely and totally missed it. So the French player not only has the unique passive where, oh my god, there's a red palace somewhere. There's a red palace. Okay, we're getting the Imperial from the French player. Make sure I didn't miss that. But not only do we have 2 TCs, but both of these TCs are now producing villagers 20% faster in Castle Age, and I think when they get Imperial, it'll be 25% faster. So it is just a significant buff over here, and 2 TC. So I think our French player is just going to start getting so ahead economically that it's going to be a problem. And over here on this side of the map, we are getting a large amount of stockyards. This is just going to produce a ton of food and make sure that the Golden Horde can keep producing expensive batches of units. And as we can see, they are up to 112 military units. I am curious how these spearmen are going to hold up against the Arbitelaires on the French side. And especially with the French player now in Imperial, they are getting their elite upgrades for both Arbitelaires and the Royal Knights. I think that could be potentially devastating. If Baxter does not get to Imperial quickly, they do have almost exactly enough resources, so I think they are going for it. If they do not get their elite upgrades here, this will be potentially devastating, but it is going for that. But our Golden Horde player is going for that upgrade literally right now, and they are getting a gold boost to their golden tent. The French player deciding to move in to attack with all of these Royal Knights, taking out this Uvu first. I think they are going to get that Uvu and completely destroy it. Probably going to go for that fortified outpost next, or just run past it and go for this open gate. The military here for the Golden Horde deciding to completely and totally retreat. I'm surprised they're not defending on this little bit of a line right here. That fortified outpost does fall. And now they're just going to slowly work on burning down all of these military production buildings on the outside of this wall here. And I am very surprised that the Golden Horde is not trying to defend a little bit more here. The French military just fully dedicating to burning down all of these buildings on the outside of the wall, and now moving in to burn down this gate. What will the Golden Horde do? Surely they're going to bring their army over here to defend. French military just burning down all of these buildings while moving in reinforcements from their base. Now the Golden Horde player is deciding to garrison all their villagers as their military finally comes in to defend. Let's see how these spears hold up against all of these Arbaliers. And it looks like they're doing a pretty decent job. I think they do need to hold here at this wall, not go much farther than that. But both players are moving in for a full attack at this point. And it looks like our Golden Horde player has greatly outnumbered the French player at this point. But those spears fell so fast. And now that those spears are gone, there's going to be no front line to protect all of those archers. If more spear reinforcements do not join the party here, I think our Golden Horde player might be in a lot of trouble. Unless they can take out all of these knights very, very quickly, they're going to have a hard time getting these units out of their base. But more spears do show up. We're getting a buff from the Batu Khan. And now all of these ranged units can start working on the ranged units from the French now that the knights have been cleared out. It looks like our Golden Horde player has much more of a fighting chance without any Royal Knights on the field. But ultimately, those Arbaliers are so powerful that the Golden Horde does need to back up here. And this is just a really rough fight here for our Golden Horde player. Very unfortunate attack. These Arbaliers are dealing a lot of damage now to these villagers on Stockyard, doing a lot of work to hurt that Golden Horde unit production. And we do have so many more upgrades on this side for the French player. And we are getting a ton of Golden Horde crossbows to roll out as well. So many units now joining the fight. So many reinforcements here to join the fight for the French player. They are fully dedicating to pushing into the front of this base. I think these Arbaliers are being microed very, very effectively to take out as many units as possible. And the Knights are just running into the front of the base. These are horsemen now, actually. All of the Royal Knights are dead, and now we're just running around with elite horsemen. And I don't know who is going to win this fight, but it does look like our French player is favored. Are these are elite spearmen? I am shocked at how quickly those elite spearmen are dying. We don't have 3 armor upgrades, 2 ranged armor on the Golden Horde side. The Arbiter's deciding to push in a little bit too far and taking a lot of heavy losses from the Golden Horde crossbows in the back. And our French player just has not lost too many Arbaliers. They lost all of their horsemen and knights, but those Arbaliers are still alive. And as the French player decides to pull out, we can see that they are so ahead militarily now. They have more than double the units than our Golden Horde player, and they also 50 villagers ahead. And I think that this might be game here for the Golden Horde player. GIF music as the French player has the sacred victory on the map, and doesn't look like the Golden Horde player is trying to challenge it. We do have some more stockyards going down out here. Why not put the stockyards down back here? That they're a little bit safer. I am questioning this Golden Horde player's decisions today. And I keep going down over this massive stone deposit. This is going to hurt our Golden Horde player a lot because they do have an Uvu here. This keep is going to be absolutely devastating for them. A massive stone wall to stone in, to wall in our Golden Horde player. That is so unfortunate. GIF music is putting a massive troll wall down to completely lock Baxter into this side of the base. Very, very unfortunate. And now we are finally seeing some elite upgrades. Oh, a horseman to veteran. This is just a veteran upgrade. Oh no. We're just getting veteran upgrade over here on the Golden Horde side. And listen, everybody has bad days. It's just one of those days. Everybody has bad days. It's okay. And honestly, I don't know how our Golden Horde player is going to fight their way out of this today. I think they have made a few questionable decisions. They are literally in the top 100 players in the world today. So, but maybe there's a huge skill gap in between the top 100 and the top 15. These armies are just right next to each other and not fighting. The horsemen finally running in to attack all the Keshik over here. Are these... Oh, these are horsemen. They're not even Keshik. Veteran horsemen now rolling out to try and deal as much damage to the elite horsemen. But the orbital airs here for the French player are just dealing so much damage. This is going to be a huge, huge problem. All those horsemen do eventually fall to the elite spears, though. And how are the orbital airs going to get out of this alive? They do have that incendiary upgrade. And so many upgrades are rolling out for the French player. It's just absurd. They almost have all of their... blacksmith upgrades, and we're seeing a lot of missing upgrades on the Golden Horde side, especially for melee units. These artilleers are just not dying. They are just surviving for so long here, and now they've gotten their way up onto the wall to try and deal as much damage as possible from up there, and that, it looks like that is working beautifully. Look at these artilleers on the wall. They can't be touched up there, and they're just raining death down from above. But it looks like a lot of units did get caught here for our French player, and they are getting cleaned up. But the Golden Horde player now looks like they're completely and totally locked into their base. Oh no! How did this happen? How could this have happened to our Golden Horde player? No! Not Baxter. How did this happen, Baxter? So, the French player deciding to go for the Sacred Site victory and completely and totally locking Baxter in their base. GIF music playing hilariously today, I see. Well, I am kind of surprised we don't see Keshik over here for the Golden Horde. Is that just because there's no gold production at the moment for the Golden Horde? They're just going food and wood strats only? They do have access to a few gold veins over here. This one is probably too dangerously close to that French Red Palace there. And the French deciding to regroup and rebuild their military, and as we can see, Golden Horde has amassed a ton of units very, very quickly. But I think the difference is going to be in the upgrades at this point. As we can see, literally no upgrades at all to melee damage on the side of the Golden Horde. And we're missing one upgrade for that melee armor. We are getting some cannons rolling out here for the Golden Horde, though. I wonder if these cannons are going to be able to break down this... the GIF music's building another massive wall. He's just walling off the entire map. He's putting walls everywhere. And now a ton of keeps are going down over the sacred sites as well. Just wall after wall after wall to protect all of these sacred sites. And so many keeps are going down. This is insane macro from GIF music as the French, who's just placing these keeps everywhere. There's gonna be 4 keeps on this center sacred site. That's so funny. But only one cannon on this side for the Golden Horde. I don't know if that one cannon is gonna be able to take out all 4 keeps in time. They are gonna try, though. The horsemen rolling out to the front line to be ready to charge in as soon as that wall is down. They immediately run to the side. I think what they're going to try to do is run to either side of the map and get to either one of these other sacred sites, but they are going to be rudely interrupted by the fact that there are walls and keeps literally everywhere. And I guess this wall hasn't finished here, and neither is this wall up here. So our Golden Horde player actually has a chance to break this lock at the moment if they can get a group of horsemen in. And oh my god, the French player moves all these villagers over here to finish this wall, and so now the horsemen are not able to get in and neutralize that sacred site. These horsemen down here are all dying to the keeps. They're not going to be able to neutralize that sacred site. This army was not able to push in to that area at all, and this one's walled off. Our French player has just successfully, completely and totally walled off all 3 sacred sites, and the one that isn't walled off at the moment is surrounded by 4 keeps, and their military, the French military, is just slaughtering all of these units outside of this sacred site. This is a brutal sacred site victory, which is only 20 seconds away at the moment. Just walls everywhere, not letting the Golden Horde player leave their base at all, as a bunch of horsemen run in and take out that trebuchet. The arbalers not letting anything past these front 2 keeps, and the keeps have been upgraded with cannon emplacements as well. No horsemen were able to break through any of the sacred sites at all, and our French player wins today with a sacred site victory. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see each and every one of you in the next one. Bye.